which is what the Texas Forest Service has named it. We are here currently right now, about 170 acres estimated is what we're looking at right now. However, no structures have been affected and all evacuations have been lifted at this time. Fire crews that are working, we do have this under control right now. However, we don't have a specific containment number for you guys at this moment. We are here mopping up hot spots, as well as we're going to be working through the night and tomorrow as well to get this all cleaned up. Texas Forestry Service is here with dozers and hand crews, as well as a TIF-MIS strike team, and then also all responding units here in the county as well.
Kind of talk us, that was it for...
Yeah.
Okay. As far as the wind, right? That was the big thing. We've been seeing fires all across Central Texas. How did that play into what happened here today?
Yeah, so today it was the perfect conditions for a fire to start. I know that here in the county, all across the county, all the departments were staffing extra resources because of the weather that was going to be happening today with the wind conditions as well as the rain that just occurred. It was the perfect storm for this kind of fire. So we were prepared for something like this. We were expecting something like this, something to flare up. However, at this time, it is not determined what caused it specifically. It's still under investigation. But we are here, like I said, we're going to be working throughout the night and tomorrow as well.
Did the fire cross like county lines, or is it in one particular county?
So right now the fire is just in Hays County. It is right on the brink of the Kyle jurisdiction and Buda jurisdiction for fire services. We're right on the line of Hays County Emergency Service District number 5 and Emergency Services District number 8, which is Kyle and Buda. So we're right on the line right here. However, we have crews from all over the county. So San Marcos, South Hays, North Hays, Wimberley, Kyle and Buda are all working together on this.
Can you talk to us about why this hasn't been like as visible? I guess it was pretty visible at one point, but is it deep in the brush? Like...
Yeah, so that fire is pretty far back there. It is the perfect spot to where it's being hidden right now, so you guys aren't seeing too much. However, like the weather today, as you've seen, like the smog out and everything, is kind of like all from over Central Texas.
How many people are working this fire? How many people have worked it all day?
I don't have that exact number for you right now. I know that whenever they ordered food, it was around the 100 mark. However, that was earlier this evening, so that number definitely could have changed by now.
How are the conditions of personnel? How have they been holding up with the windy weather? I'm sure dust, smoke, any injuries so far?
So far, nothing's reported. Like I said, we were expecting this kind of today with the perfect storm for the weather. Our crews, you know, they train for moments like these, so that's what they're here to do, and that's what they're doing today.
Can you talk about the winds and what direction they were pushing the fire in, and how difficult it's been to contain them given the conditions today?
So yeah, that fire was pretty brutal today, so that's what kind of caused the whole thing with it moving and whatnot. So the winds were pushing northeast, so that's where they were working towards trying to contain the fire at that area.
What time was it originally reported?
Today around 3 p.m.
The earliest I saw an estimate was 100 acres at 5 o'clock. That seems like it ballooned very quickly. Was it already in Gulf fire whenever it was reported? Or?
So right now, the area that we're actually on is the Austin Water Company's, I hope I say that right, the Austin Water Company's land, and they do prescribed burns out here. They do them all over Central Texas, so that is the land that you're standing on right now. Not to say that that's what caused it or anything. However, like this is the area that it's full of brush and whatnot, so this is the area that does get those kind of prescribed burns. So a fire to this area is nothing new.
And this is pretty deep in. Can you talk about the difficulty of personnel trying to get to that location of the fire?
Yeah, so trying to figure out exactly where the head is of the fire. I mean, trying to weave in and trying to get past property lines. Obviously, you don't want to intrude on anybody's house or anything, but you are trying to protect property and lives here. So our crews are trying to do that as respectfully as possible while also trying to work as hard as they could.
How close are the closest homes?
As of right now, I don't have that specific information. I know that nothing's been affected. No structures are being impacted right now. All evacuations have been lifted. So that means that everybody's able to go back to their home. So they shouldn't be affected right now anyways.
Crews will be working overnight?
Yes, crews will be working overnight as well as into tomorrow.
At first, we were calling this the Ruby Ranch fire and then the Onion Creek fire now. Can you
Yes.
explain that?
So the way that fire names work is pretty much the first person out there is who gets to name it. I mean, that's just how it works. So whoever probably called it originally was calling it the closest landmark. But then whenever the Texas Forestry Service got out here, they officially named it the Onion Creek Fire.
Same thing.
Yes, that is the same fire as what was originally being called the Ruby Ranch Fire. Cool. I will hand it over.
Good evening. I'm Deputy Bryant Quadros. That's Bryant, B-R-Y-A-N-T, Quadros, C-U-A-D-R-O-S, Public Information Officer with the Hays County Sheriff's Office. This evening, the Hays County Sheriff's Office did respond to the Onion Creek Fire to provide support services to CAL Fire and the Emergency Service District that were tending to this emergency. The Hays County Sheriff's Office is proud to have personnel that were on standby to be able to assist fire however we could while they obviously manage the fire emergency itself. Tonight and this afternoon, the Sheriff's Office provided all that we're ready to assist with evacuations if needed, any sort of traffic control. And thankfully it didn't come to that. We were able to stand by both at the actual incident location and at a pre-planned evacuee staging area where we were able to dedicate approximately 30 to 35 sheriff's deputies as allowable to be able to be ready to respond however it is that we could assist. We also are providing drone services to this incident, and so the Hays County Sheriff's Office Unmanned Robotics Team, or the drone team as it's commonly called, is still currently deployed, helping fire find those hotspots, find any areas of concerns from an aerial point of view so that everyone's work is a little bit more efficient tonight.
Do you know of any people that had taken shelter at that evacuation center that we were at earlier?
Sure. So we did have some residents that arrived there. Just again, it was a staging area until we could determine if that was going to be a proper shelter, if it came to that need. But at this time, we've closed down operations there, so there aren't any residents that I'm aware of that have actually taken shelter there.
Do we still have all Sheriff's Office deputies working this? I think you said it was around 35. Are all 35 still on this right now?
No, so at this point, we've been advised by fire that, again, we're here in a support role, so we're here as long as we're needed. And at this point, our personnel, the majority of them have been relieved with the exception of the drone team that's still deployed.
Anything else you want to add about this you think we may have missed?
Well, I know you asked, where are we, right? Are we in between two counties? Are we, as Andy spoke, we are crossing ESD jurisdictions. And so, the Sheriff's Office, we're lucky that we have good insight into the greater Hays County area. And so we're happy to assist it. We're not bound by our ESD. And so however it is that we can lend a hand to our first responder partners here in Hays County, we're happy to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so
We
much.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. I want to say sorry.